Welcome students. Today we are going to discuss an interesting topic, which is the practical application of the stoichiometry, and that topic is the limiting reactant. Now we will look back that as I have mentioned, the Jeremias Benjamin Richter in 1792 mentioned that word in his first volume published in the 1792, The Art of Measuring the Elements. The art of measuring the elements, the art of measuring the reactants, and the art of measuring all the constituent participating in any chemical reaction. And due to that art, it is the time for taking the art, for understanding the art, that art. What is the art of that measurement? And on that basis, we divided the elements, the constituents participated in the chemical reactions. Either these are two, either these are more than two, but all these constituents, all these reactants are categorized or divided into two types. And one of the type is the limiting reactant and the other type is the excess reactants. Now what are the limiting reactants? Why it is necessary to mention them as a limiting reactant? What are the excess reactants? Why these are excess reactant? What are the application of the limiting reactant? What is the practical significance of that limiting reactant? It will be discussed in detail, but simply I say that the limiting reactants or the reactants which limit the reaction, which limit the reaction, which limit the product, which stop the product, which stop the reaction, are those reactants which are consumed earlier. Real means the first reactant, the reagents which are consumed earlier and stop the reaction and no further products are formed are termed as the limiting reactant. While in the case of the excess reactant, those reagents, those reactants, those elements which are participating in that reaction and remain unreacted and are left behind after the reaction are called as the excess reactions. Now we will discuss all these terms in detail. Why these limiting reactants, how these limiting reactant controls the reactions, what is the significance of these reactions, what are the reactions, either the reactions are the only reactions? No, these are the two types of the reactions, because we are concerning the stoichiometry, the application of the stoichiometry. And if we will concern the stoichiometry, then we will divide these reactions into two categories. Among these two categories, one are the stoichiometric reactions and others are the non-stoichiometric reactions. What are the stoichiometric reactions? What are the non-stoichiometric reactions? The stoichiometric reactions are those reactions in which all the reactants are consumed to form the products, and the ratio remains the same. Even either how much reactants are there, but the ratio of their reaction and their products remains same. But the non-stoichiometric reactions are those reactions in which the required amount and available amount is not compatible and some of the reactions consumed earlier and some of the reactants left behind and are the excess amount or the non-stoichiometric reaction. But we will make these non-stoichiometric reactions in a stoichiometric reactions to find the limiting reactant, to find the product, to increase the amount of the product, to utilize that reactions for the consumption of the more valuable reactants, expensive reactants for in the reactions, so as our yield must be maximum and our products must be maximum. Now we will discuss it with an example here. Students, as I have mentioned already about the limiting reactant, now for the convenience I need to again revise the definition of the limiting reactant properly. The students, the limiting reactants are defined as the limiting reactant as the first reactant that is used up earlier in a chemical reaction and which stops the reactions to proceed and no further product is formed is called as the limiting reactant. And those reactants which are left behind are called as the excess reactant, are called excess reactant. As I have mentioned here that we have two types of the equations in which one of them is stoichiometric equation, other is non-stoichiometric. We will explain to understand the real sense of the limiting reactant by explaining these two equations. Let's suppose we get the example here: nitrogen, hydrogen react to give the ammonia. The equation must be balanced. That is the equilibrium equation. But for that topic, for that concept, it is not necessary to mention the sign of the equilibrium. It can only be represented by simple equation as. And we take another example: silver plus chlorine, it will give the silver chloride. Students, view here, we have the ratio of the nitrogen, hydrogen to form the ammonia as 1:3:2. Means we must have the 3 moles of hydrogen and 1 mole of the nitrogen to give the 2 moles of the ammonia. Three moles and 1 mole. If we want to take the 4 moles of the ammonia, we will have 6 moles of the hydrogen and 2 moles of nitrogen. that ratio will be continued in all the process, in all the values, that ratio. In this equation, we studied that 2 moles of the ammonia will always require the 3 moles of hydrogen and 1 mole of the nitrogen. And that is the balanced equation, and that is representing the ratio of all the reactants and the products. But so we that equation is termed as the stoichiometric calculation, because the law of conservation of mass and the law of definite proportion is obeyed in that equation. Now for that equation, we know that we can understand it that the 2 moles of silver chloride, we need the 1 mole of chlorine and 2 mole of silver. If I say that we want to consider here the 1 mole of chlorine consumes the 2 mole of the silver for the preparation of the 2 mole of the silver chloride. If we take the 1 mole for the each, 1 mole of the silver and 1 mole of the chlorine, 1 mole of chlorine and 1 mole of the silver and 1 mole of the chlorine, and want to get the silver chloride and want to get the 2 mole of the silver chloride, then we say that among that 1 mole of the silver, 1/2 mole of chlorine will be used and 1/2 mole of chlorine will be left behind, unreacted, remained unreacted. So the half mole of the chlorine will consume the 1 mole of the silver, and 1 mole of the chlorine will consume the 2 mole of the chlorine silver. In this way, the silver is consumed earlier. Silver is consumed earlier, and the chlorine is left behind by an amount of the half mole, 1/2 or the 0.5 mole. In this way, when such situation occur, the equations are termed as the non-stoichiometric equations. Now, that in that sense, which of the reactant is consumed earlier is the silver. So the silver is the limiting reactant, and chlorine is the excess reactant. Understand? Because chlorine is consumed, 1 mole of the chlorine is totally consumed, is termed as the limiting reactant, and the half mole, 0.5 mole of the oxygen is left behind after the completion of the reaction, and the reaction will stop. And that, due to that reason, the 0.5 mole of the chlorine is left behind, and that is the reason we say chlorine as a excess reactant. Similar is true if we want to understand it by the general example. We take another example to understand the whole of the myth of that concept is that if we want to take sandwich, we want to prepare the sandwich. That sandwich comprises one kebab and two slices. One kebab and two slices combined to give the one sandwich. Now we take the 5 breads packs and they contain the 58 slices. These contain the 58 slices and 30 kebabs. 30 kebabs. Now, according to the formula, 2 slices and 1 kebab is required to prepare the one sandwich. We have that reactants and we want to take the product of the sandwiches. Now, after taking that formula, we find that we will be successful to form the 29 sandwiches. We will be successful to get the 29 sandwiches. After counting that all, we will see that one of the kebab is left. Kebab is left behind. Now, that one kebab which is left after the completion of the 29 sandwiches are termed as the excess reactant. Excess reactants. And the 58 slices are termed as the limiting reactant. Limiting reactants. Now one thing is important. In that figure, you will not guess those amount of the reactant which are mentioned in less will be the limiting reactant. No. Either 30 kebabs are less in quantity and the 58 slices are more in quantity. You unfortunately not mention here that 30 kebab because are less, so they are the limiting reactant and the 58 are the more, they are excess. No, that is wrong. We will not take such a blunder in that calculations. We will have the practical consideration with the experimental calculations, that after that calculations we reached at the point the kebabs are the excess reactants and the slices are the limiting reactant. Another example regarding that we will follow is to understand the stoichiometric position calculations is that the formation of the water. Formation of the water, we get the hydrogen and oxygen and that combined to give the water. It is very necessary. If the equation is already balanced, then it's okay. If not, you must balance first the equation. That equation will be the in such a product. Now it is the balanced equation. Means 2 moles of hydrogen, 1 mole of oxygen give 2 moles of the water. 2 moles of water. If we consider that their quantity is in a such a way. 2 moles mean 4 grams, that is the 32 grams, and that will give the 36 grams of water. Students, that equation is a stoichiometric equation. Stoichiometric equation. If the equation become the non-stoichiometric, that we take the 2 moles of hydrogen, 2 moles of oxygen, and then we get the 2 moles of water. Here we will see that for the preparation of the 2 moles of the water, we need 32 grams of the oxygen and we need the 2 moles of the hydrogen. Here we see that these 2 moles of the hydrogen, 2 moles of the oxygen give the 2 moles of the water. But we see that for the preparation of the 2 moles of the water, we need 32 grams of the oxygen and 4 grams of the hydrogen. But here we have 4 grams of the hydrogen and 64 grams of the oxygen. As the ratio in the stoichiometric equation, that 4 grams of hydrogen will consume the 32 grams of the oxygen and the 32 grams of the oxygen will left behind. Because the ratio for the preparation is 2:1:2. And in that sense, the hydrogen as is consumed earlier, it is called as the limiting reactant. And oxygen is excess reactant. Understand? I think you have now complete the idea of the limiting reactant and the excess reactant. Another example, the example of the oxygen. Oxygen is necessary for the combustion process, for the burning process. The oxygen in the burning process is the excess reactant, and the burning things which have been completely burned are the limiting reactant. Students, that is all the explanation about locating the limiting reactants and the excess reactant. Now we will mathematically, stoichiometrically calculate how we will calculate to locate the limiting reactant and to locate the excess reactants. In this way, we will need the 3 different steps and which are mentioned under the identification of the limiting. Students, now we will take the 3 steps for the calculations of the chemical reactions, the constituent, the products, to know which is the limiting reactant, which is the excess reactant. In that calculations, we take first to calculate the number of the moles from the given amount of the reactants. For that calculations, we need the number of the moles for the given amount of the reactants to identify the limiting reactants. Secondly, we will find out the number of the moles of the products with the help of the balanced chemical equation as mentioned here. It will be another step for the calculation for the identification of the limiting reactant. And the third step is that the which of the reactant produce the least amount of the product as a limiting reactant. Now that calculations we can identify the limiting reactants as the simple example is given here, and I have already discussed it. Students, I think that now you have the complete idea for the limiting reactant, and in spite of this, if you find any problem, you can ask on our website and we will reply you, inshallah. But one thing is that the overall calculations, the different calculations in such a pattern is out of the scope of your syllabus, especially for the FSC students. But for the anti-test, it is very necessary to calculate the sum of the examples minutely, simply and precisely, and that will be helpful in your anti-test by applying these rules. Thank you very much.